Go away, Robin.
So today, two awesome things are going to happen. First, we are going to kayak to the Haruru Falls and through some mangrove, and we're going to see a lot of awesome things. And second, we are making our way down to Paihia, and I'm finally changing that cast. Today we are meeting up with the team from Bay of Island Cruise and Kayak, and we're meeting Taylor, which is going to be our skipper, kayaking guide and overall awesome tour guide today.
Our nature cruise and kayak tour starts where the Waitangi River meets the sea, and we're going to be making our way up the Waitangi River to an amazing waterfall. But first, we have loads of amazing birds to check out.
Yeah, half the birds are under the water, half them on the top, and just pushing the whole school. Pretty onto it, eh?
Yeah. While we're cruising up the river, we are on the lookout for a kind of fish called a flounder.
When you see them in the water, they're like a jandal upside down. Yeah, they're really neat. They're really flat, absolutely beautiful, really tasty.
The Waitangi River is super shallow, but it's super clear as well, so it gives us perfect viewing to see what's on the bottom of the river. And sure enough, after some scouting, we finally find this really unusual looking fish called the flounder. It's really cool to be able to see fish actually swimming underneath the boat, and Taylor actually tells us how tasty they are if you catch one for dinner. But moving on, there's a lot more wildlife to see in this really unique habitat made up of mangrove forest.
Taylor tells us that New Zealand is actually the southernmost place on the planet where you can find mangrove. And mangrove are the very unique habitat for wildlife. We get to see some species of birds and plants which you can actually not find anywhere else. The slow-moving cruise through this beautiful place of the Bay of Island is so unique. Most of the time when you plan a trip to the Bay of Island, it's all about golden sand beaches and exploring one of the 144 different islands in the area. But getting so close to some unique wildlife and getting to see some amazing birds, it's such an amazing experience. We even get to see a huge colony of cormorants, or known as shags, here in New Zealand. We get to see adults as well as their babies, which have a very different plumage, making them easily recognizable.
So he's probably only about a month and a half old, so he's not that old.
Fuck, he's right for a month and a half.
So probably in another month he'll lose those dirty feathers, and then he'll be looking like the other ones. So they're quite a pretty bird.
You will be able to see shags on most of the New Zealand coastline. They are probably one of the most successful fishing birds in the country. Usually you're going to see them floating on the surface of the water and then dive underwater. They often come back with a really large fish that they gobble up all in one go. But after checking the wildlife for quite a while, we are finally arriving to the Haruru Falls, which is where we're going to be spending our time kayaking today. It's one of the crown jewels of the Bay of Island because it has such an amazing, distinctly shape and makes for amazing pictures that Laura, well, can't wait to take.
So guys, I can't kayak today, obviously because of my arms, so I got a kayak slave in the shape of Taylor behind, which has been kind enough to be okay kayaking us a little bit for today.
The Haruru Falls is a wide curtain waterfall looking so stunning, and I can't wait to kayak right close to it. In fact, you can kayak right underneath it if you want to and get totally drenched, but Robin and I do have a 2-hour drive right after this tour, so we're kind of avoiding that. However, the lure of the waterfall is drawing us in, so we keep getting closer and closer to the falls, with the spray being super refreshing on our face, and it's really enjoyable to just kayak around and see how close we can get before the force of the waterfall just pushes our kayaks away. The really cool thing about this tour is that you can be a complete beginner and still be able to kayak underneath the Haruru Falls. It's not exactly a technical place to do kayaking. However, if you do want to jump in the kayaks a little bit earlier down the Waitangi River than what you saw us do, you can definitely do that, as this tour is really catered to what you want to do. As well as kayaking underneath Haruru Falls, we also explored the surrounding area and the whole river gorge around us. There's all these cliffs that we can kayak right next to, and then they are topped with pahutu trees, which are actually dangling over the river, so we can kayak right underneath them, which is super cool and fun to do. I really like the fact that we get to kayak in open kayaks, meaning that it's super comfortable and you can be a lot more flexible in these kayaks, like lying down and looking up at the beautiful trees above you. And there's also the option to do stand-up paddleboarding if you prefer to do something a little different. After the really awesome kayaking portion of our tour, we are getting back onto the boat to continue with the rest of our nature cruise back down the Waitangi River.
So we literally just hop off the kayak, and the first thing that Laura is doing is checking over my picture work because she's really worried that I didn't do a good enough job.
Turns out that all the pictures that I took were not that bad, so Laura is pretty satisfied as we are making our way back to Wildwell, where we started in the boat that actually Taylor has built himself. Yes, that's right, he takes the time to tell us the story behind this very large kayaking boat. He couldn't find one that was good enough, so he made it.
Alright, so we have wet bumps and we are out of the kayaks. We are now making our way to Whangarei to get another checkup on my arm and hopefully get a new cast. And this is also today, the day where I know if I need an operation for my arm or not.
God, I can't pick up.
Oh shit, do you want to see the doctor instead of me?
I think I need to.
I mean, I'm okay with my arm, it's fine, but you've got hiccup. We'll ask the lady.
Alright, so you guys saw the deal the first time when I broke my arm. It's about the same thing. I'm getting a bit of an X-ray, making sure everything's alright, and then we're waiting.
Finally, I can get rid of that. I've decided I want red and blue. New Zealand.
Yes, that's right, you heard correctly. We actually have the option to choose which color of cast we're getting in New Zealand. It's so awesome. So I'm getting obviously a little creative.
Alright, what do you think about that cast? Honestly, I think that's pretty epic.
One last X-ray and me, my beautiful cast, and Laura are making our way back toward Paihia.
Oh, graceful.
I think graceful is the word.
You're like a swan.